In our previous video, we talked about the expense tab and how that affects your spreadsheet. Now, one thing we didn't talk about was going over the different types of expenses that you may have. You may have an advertising expense. You may have a salary. You probably have salaries and wages coming out of your business that you can input into there, and you can input where that's coming out of your business. And there are typically no vendor names or job names to assign those to in your business, but you can fill in a date if you wish. In terms of everything else, we've talked about revenue. We've talked about the different bank accounts in your business. This customer relationship manager is just there to take notes that you may want to store in this spreadsheet of your customers. The vendor relationship manager shows you how much you've paid and not paid and the total amount for each vendor. And the information tab just allows you to edit the drop downs here. But the real value in the spreadsheet is this overview tab. And it allows you to see where your money is going, where it's coming from, what jobs are the most profitable, and so on. Now, this job overview really shows you the revenue minus the taxes, the cost of sale minus the taxes if it was tax creditable, and then your gross profit and your profit percentage on that. Now, this is gross profit, not net profit. Gross profit hasn't taken into factor the expenses that were not specifically tied to that job. For example, the expenses like advertising and salaries, they don't have a job name, so they're not assigned to anything. If we take those away from all of our gross profit, then we get the net profit, which we can see here in our profit and loss statement. So with this profit and loss statement, if we set the dates, we can then see from that year our total revenue, our total expenses for that year, and then our net profit and our net profit percentage. You can also see how your money is coming in and going out from month to month. So if we were to take a look at this business and we were to take a look at this graph that it displays here, we would see that when we got started in April, our revenue and expenses were very similar. But as we continued, our cash flow became really tight. So that's important to know in our business that for this particular business, which is just an example with some made up numbers, that for this particular business, you probably want to hold some cash on hand to make sure that you get through these cash tight periods when your expenses are so much higher than your revenue. Or on the other hand, you can collect more money up front for your jobs from your customer if you are able to do so with your area. There's different laws around how much you can take, but maybe you can set up a payment system in terms of when you're going to get paid after you do a certain amount of work with your customer. Now, the job overview tab here with all the job names is good to see the gross profit. But the net profit is really what you're after, because the net profit shows you really the financial health of your business. So taking a look at this profit and loss statement is really going to help you to identify things in your business that you can improve on. Now, with our business budget and estimate spreadsheet, you can do the job costing tab to understand the net profit on that job based on your overhead expenses and everything. But this is going to give you an exact number with this profit and loss statement in terms of how your business is faring from month to month or at the exact time that you are in right now. So there is a lot of value to be able to see this in your business. In addition to that, we've got expense tracking here to show you month by month what your business is spending money on, if it's matching your budget. So really these two spreadsheets go hand in hand. So we can see our year to date for advertising came out all in 1 month there, but we didn't set that in our expenses. So if we go back to our expenses tab, you can see that the date's not there. If I go back here and I put in a date, and I'm going to say the same date for these two. Now I can go back into our overview tab, and now I can see that those are there for August. So now you can see why getting the date right is so important with the spreadsheet, because everything else is going to automatically show up with this. So we can see that our advertising year to date was $20,000, which all came on August. Our salaries and wages, once again, all in August. and our material cost here, we can see how that fared month by month. We can compare these year-to-date amounts to our budget to see if are we on track to do what our budget says? Do we need to increase that in our budget to be able to build that into our customers' jobs so that we know we're making this money back? Are we able to cut some of these that aren't necessary? Are we spending too much on office expenses? Can we cut that? Can we increase something here? Are our motor vehicle expenses higher than previous years? What month was it higher in? There's a lot of things that we can see with this tab here to be able to identify. And like we said before, we can keep on adding more. Whatever we add into this information tab, we can then see here. All we have to do with this spreadsheet is just drag down. And that's the same with anything in our spreadsheet. If there's not enough rows here, we can simply continue to drag down to be able to add more rows. And then finally, we've got two more things here. We've got the vendors, so we can see how much we're spending month by month with each vendor and the year-to-date amount. So this, I always feel, is a good thing to have, to know where our money is going, where the most amount of our money is being sent to. So we can change these. Instead of the Stoneyard, we can go into our information and put in the actual business name of that Stoneyard where we're getting our stone. So we can go to them at the end of the year and say, hey, we spent this much with you this year. We were up this much percent compared to last year. Is there any way we can work out a bigger discount on these products because we want to be loyal to you? I've done that with a dumping business that I do business with. In my business. So being able to know these numbers and to be able to use them to get a better rate next year or whatever it may be is a great way to track where your money is going with these different vendors and who you're spending your money with. And then finally, there's the income tracking. So with this revenue tab, you can choose the different job type that you are doing. Now, if you have a job that you're doing more than just hardscaping, more than just lighting, I recommend splitting that up as best as you can in terms of your estimate, what's going out there. And, if that job goes through, if you estimated this much for the lighting, this much for the hardscaping, you can input that here separately so that you can really get a good sense of what jobs are bringing you in the most money. Now, you can have a thing like overall, which just gives you an overall, this is an overall job. We did lighting, we did hardscaping, we did softscaping, whatever it may be. You can just have something that encompasses everything or whatever you want to do with your business. But at least you'll see the total amount that these different jobs brought in and how much they brought in per month. And it helps you identify, maybe the cleaning and sealing business is not bringing in us a lot of money at the end of the year, and it's not worth us being able to offer this. Maybe it's better to subcontract this out. It really helps you to see where your money is coming in and where the best way in your business to double down on a service and to make that better in your business. So this is the final video of this Bookkeeping for Contractors spreadsheet. I hope this was valuable for you. I hope you understand how this spreadsheet can help you in your business. If you have any questions, reach out to us at contact@howtohardscape, at howtohardscape, anywhere you can find us, Instagram, Facebook. And really, still hire a bookkeeper in your business. Get an accountant in your business to look things like this over and look at your numbers and to really help you understand your numbers a little bit better. This is a great start for bookkeeping in your business, but I still recommend having a bookkeeper on your side in that is able to identify more things in your business and to kind of organize this a little bit better for you to match your business, because this is completely customizable. Thank you, everyone, for listening.